All right, so annoyed. I just made my second video and then some reason it didn't upload, so that was a waste of 15 minutes, but it's fine. We're gonna jump right back in. So this is the second video and we are gonna jump in at number 8 with our fraction. So we need to not rush through this, make sure we're good. There's only 2 problems in your guided notes today with the fraction, so stick with me, make sure you understand these concepts so when you get your homework you can do this. So number 8 is negative 1/2 parentheses 12p minus 42 equals negative 33. So remember, the first thing that you want to look for when you're doing this is distributing. See my parentheses? I've got a number on the outside. So that is what I'm going to multiply through. So follow along. Numerator times the whole number, divide by the denominator. I'm going to make sure that you understand I'm putting the negative with the numerator. Don't put it in both spots because then they'd cancel each other out. Negative 1 times 12 is negative 12. Negative 12 divided by positive 2 is negative 6, and then the p is still beside that. Negative 1 times negative 42, I'm going to treat that subtraction like a negative, is positive 42. Positive 42 divided by 2 is 21. Equals negative 33. We've got ourselves our two-step equation. No like terms to combine, I'm just going to go ahead. So I'm going to subtract 21 on each side. Cancels out. So negative 6p equals negative 54. Divide both sides by that negative 6. Negative 6p divided by negative 6 is just p. Negative 54 divided by negative 6 gives you a positive 9. All right, first fraction. Think of it. If you cut 12 in half, you get 6. If you cut 42 in half, you get 21. Now it's a negative, so all of our signs change to the opposite, but you guys can handle this. The front of your pink notes should be good to go now, and we are transitioning to the back, starting with number 9. No fraction this time, but we're going to have to incorporate both the distributive and combining like term steps now. So 5 parentheses, y minus 2, end of parentheses, minus 7y equals negative 32. So we are going to distribute 5 through. So we've got 5y minus 10. I worry that some of you still forget to do the distributive property to both terms in the parentheses. Make sure you don't forget. Bring down the minus 7y. It's not in parentheses, so it won't be changing. So I don't have a two-step equation. That means I need to look at that second step where I need to combine like terms if needed. It's needed right now because I have 2 variable terms on the left-hand side of my equation. 5y minus 7y is negative 2y minus 10 equals negative 32. No other constants, so that negative 10 can come straight down. That's my third wheel. I'm going to add 10 on each side. Remember, your y, your date is negative 2. So negative 2y equals negative 22. Negative 32 plus 10, negative 22. Divide both sides by negative 2. I'm going to run out of room, so I'm just going to draw an arrow to my final answer. Negative 2y divided by negative 2 is just y. Negative 22 divided by negative 2's, those cancel out on the top and the bottom, leaving you with y equals 11. All right, remember, pause as you need to make sure you're getting all the information. You can slow down the volume, speed up the volume, whatever is going to make you happy and make this the most meaningful learning. If you're not writing down quality steps, I'm going to send you back to do that before you get the homework, so you're just wasting time. Your work should be practically identical to my work. All right, 10 is the last fraction we have for today, so we just want to make sure you understand that just because it's a fraction doesn't mean it's a different type of problem. This 2/3 needs to be distributed through our parentheses first. Yes, there's a lot going on. Hone in on where those parentheses are, and that's always going to be your starting point, whether it's at the beginning, the middle, or the end. Negative 3 comes down. Numerator times the whole number, divide by the denominator. Here we go. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then the end stays with that. Second term, 2 times negative 42 is negative 84. Negative 84 divided by 3 is negative 28 equals negative 51. All right, so I'm going to put this down for a minute, and I'm going to show you my calculator of how I just did that. So 2 times negative 42. First thing I put in my calculator, enter. Nope, not minus. That's why I can't do it like that. Okay, putting the board down. 2 times negative 42 gives me negative 84. Divide by the denominator, so divide by 3, and that's going to leave me with negative 28. So that's why I have minus 28 written there. All right, back up. Distributing is done. I do not have a two-step equation, so I need to start combining like terms. I've got two constant terms hanging out on the same side of my equation. Negative 3 and negative 28 are going to combine to give me negative 31 plus 4n equals negative 51. You're in. Your date is 4. Negative 31 is your third wheel. So add 31 on each side. 4n equals negative 20. Divide both sides by 4. N equals negative 5. So negative divided by a positive is still a negative, and you get 5. All right, that was the last fraction. You guys survived. You can do it. We did this in Unit 1. It's not going away. It'll be back in algebra next year as well. Make sure you understand how to multiply when you're dealing with fractions. All right, number 11. Keep it moving. 57 equals negative 3, parentheses, 4v plus 1, end of parentheses, plus v. Yes, there's a lot going on. I'm not going to tell you there isn't. It doesn't matter because you know where to start. Find your parentheses and distribute. Negative 3 is directly on the outside, so that's what you're distributing. Negative 3 times 4v is negative 12v. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Bring down your 2v. Negative 12v plus 2v is negative 10v. And then your minus 3. And I'll box those in for you. Sorry, I was going a little fast there. Those are my variable terms. That's where the negative 10v came from. I had to distribute. I did not have a two-step equation, so I knew I needed to combine like terms. Now I have a two-step equation, and I can identify myself. My date is negative 10, and negative 3 is my third wheel. So that means I'll add, guys, did I write this wrong? Yeah, I wrote a V there. That should be a 7. Now I need to add 3 on each side, and I'll get 6v equals negative 10v. Those cancel out and give me 0. Divide both sides by negative 10. 60 divided by negative 10, positive divided by a negative is going to give me a negative answer. I'm going to go over here. Negative 6 equals v. Those negative 10s cancel each other out. All right, I know it's not always the neatest, guys, but I think it works the best to have this the closest. I might play around with this after the winter break and see if there's a way that I can not have to hold it up or maybe be able to record myself writing. So I'm still playing around with that. All right, number 12. 7 parentheses 3k minus 2, end of parentheses, minus 13k equals 82. All right, multi-step means there's a lot because it's multi. So zone in on where that parenthesis set is and distribute. 7 times 3k is 21k. 7 and negative 2 gives me negative 14. Bring everything else down around it. All right, distributing is done. Step 2, combine like terms. 21k and that negative 13k. Add your brick wall if you haven't already. 21k minus 13k gives me 8k. Minus 14 equals 82. So go ahead and add 14 on each side. Cancels out. 8k equals 96. All right, so we need to divide both sides by 8. Cancels out. So 96 divided by 8 leaves me with 12. Some of these larger numbers, they may not be problems that you have memorized. Figure it out by working that out. If you need to check your work, you have access to a calculator. Get your own, so come quiz day, you are prepared and you're not panicking. All right, that's number 12. Number 13, I've got negative 3 equals negative 15 minus 2, parentheses c minus 1, end of parentheses minus 3c. Almost ran out of room. It is pretty long, and I spread it out a little bit towards the beginning. distribute first. All right, so -2 is going to be distributed through. So bring everything else down as you go until you get there. Okay. -2 times c is -2c. -2 times -1 is a +2. And then -3c. All right, combining like terms time. I've got constants, -15 and +2. So that's going to give me -13. -2c and -3c is going to give me -5c. Third wheel is -13. The date is -5. Your c. Add 13 first. Switch it around when you do this addition or subtraction here. Instead of doing -3 plus 13, it's going to seem easier if you do 13 minus 3 and end up with 10. Cancels out, you get -5c. Opposite of multiplying is to divide, so divide by that -5. And 10 divided by -5 is -2. Those -5's cancel out, leaving you with that equal to c. All right. Number 14. They're doing great. These are not easy, and they're just going to get a little bit harder every day this week. So hang in there. Ask questions if I'm losing you at some point. Make sure you clarify, pause when needed, and check in with me or Ms. Cannon so we can help get you on track. All right, number 14. So I have two fears when I show you guys this problem. My first fear is that if I ask you what you need to distribute, you're going to say 5. And 5 is not directly in front of the parentheses. There is a subtraction sign separating the 5 from my parentheses. Do not distribute a 5 through. My second fear is that if I ask you what to distribute, you're going to say nothing. There's nothing to distribute. There's nothing in front of the parentheses, so we're good. We can just bring it down. Also incorrect. There is a negative there. Remember, you can add a 1. You are going to distribute a -1 through in this problem. -18 equals that 5 comes down. -1 times 6k is -6k. -1 times -19 is +19. Like terms, I've got two variable terms, 5 and 19. Those are going to add together to give me 24. Subtract 24 on each side because it's a positive. Do the opposite so it will cancel like so. -18 minus 24 is -42. -6k is what it's equal to. You've got one more step. Divide both sides by -6. K is equal -42 divided by -6. Those negatives cancel out, so I know it's a positive. And it is a +7. Awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm going to pause here. You guys need to work out 15 and 16 on your own. Please, I challenge you to do this instead of just skipping right into video 3. You're not hurting anybody but yourself. If you were pleased with your quiz score that you got back yesterday, keep doing what you've been doing because it's working with these video lessons. If you weren't, I challenge you to take a little more ownership in your work and make sure that you're actually thinking through this process with me or before me and then listening to me rather than just copying and pasting everything I'm doing. So that's what some of you are doing, and it's going to get you a little bit, but you're not fully taking advantage of this time to learn, and you're putting more on yourself to do outside of school. My goal is you have everything you need in class, so you're not going home and panicking. You honestly should have enough in class support and time to get that homework started that you're not going home and feeling overwhelmed about pre-algebra at any point. So work out 15 and 16. When you're ready, play video 3 and check your work.